Hey there, everyone. Today, we're diving into a topic that's both fascinating and a little bit scary: Nigeria's birth rates and what they mean for the future. Now, you might be thinking, oh, another article about Africa's population growth. But trust me, this one's different. It's not just about numbers, it's about the future of an entire continent and the choices we make today that will shape it. So, let's get started. First things first, let's talk about the numbers. Elon Musk recently pointed out that Nigeria had 4 million more births than the entire EU last year. That's a mind-boggling statistic, right? But what does it really mean? Well, in an aging Europe, it could be seen as a warning sign. But in the context of Africa, where poverty and scarcity are often the norm, it can be seen as a potential source of future power. But here's the thing, neither interpretation goes far enough. For a long time, the development debate has viewed African population growth through a Malthusian lens. More people, more competition for limited resources. But Musk, and many others, are starting to see things from a different perspective. They are worried that falling fertility rates will leave societies without enough people to renew themselves. And Nigeria's birth figures bring both of these anxieties into the same argument. Now, let's talk about the future. By 2050, Africa is expected to have about 2.5 billion people, close to 1/4 of humanity. And Nigeria, in particular, is projected to approach 360 million. But here's the catch: the health, education, and prospects of these children will already have been largely determined. So, it's not just about the numbers, it's about what we do with them. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room: human capital. A high birth rate alone doesn't amount to a demographic dividend. It's the quality of those births that matters. We need to ensure that children survive, families become smaller by informed and voluntary choice, women gain greater agency, and the working age share of the population rises. Employment and productivity must grow with it. In Nigeria, the human capital deficit is a real concern. The country scores 64 on education in the World Bank's Human Capital Index Plus, compared to a median of 88 among lower middle-income countries. And let's not forget the maternal and child mortality, malnutrition, exclusion from school, and learning poverty. These issues are not just about numbers, they are about lives. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture. Africa's children cannot sensibly be regarded mainly as future customers, data producers, or migrant labor. The companies and governments expecting to benefit from Africa's demographic scale have a direct interest in the health, education, research capacity, and productive systems that will shape it. It's a win-win situation, if we get it right. But here's the thing: Africa's potential is not a dividend. It's a responsibility. We need to invest in human capital, not just in numbers. We need to ensure that children are healthy, educated, and skilled, and that they have access to dignified work. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about the numbers, it's about the people. So, what does this mean for the future? Well, it's a test of delivery. Continental plans can't teach a child to read, keep a mother alive in childbirth, or provide electricity to a small manufacturer. Delivery remains national and local. In Nigeria, primary healthcare, basic education, nutrition, water, sanitation, and economic opportunity depend as much upon states and local governments as upon Abuja. It's a collective effort, and we all have a role to play. In the end, the figure that should concern Nigeria is how many of its children will reach adulthood healthy, educated, skilled, and able to find dignified work. Because that's the real measure of success. And it's not just about the numbers, it's about the people who will shape the future. So, there you have it, folks. Nigeria's birth rates are a big deal, but it's not just about the numbers. It's about the future of an entire continent. So, let's keep the conversation going, and let's make sure that Africa's future is a bright one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.